welcome to Maverrik Live. I'm your host, Luke 2, and today I'm joined by Dave Faulkner.
Hello.
How you been?
Yeah, not too bad.
It feels like I've now done a show for weeks. Weeks.
Yeah, last time I was on, I got a little bit overexcited. Tried to win myself a quiz. Got myself a reputation around the office, and now I'm back.
So you've been barred from the next one that's going on.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit competitive, just a little bit.
You spurred a lot of people to now be on the show because I was like, what, it's a quiz? You can, there's things, there's prizes. I'm going to be so excited to do the next one. So we've got a Halloween one coming up. So I reckon you inspired people to take part on the videos.
Inspiration, that's a better thing than some of the things I've been called, so I'll take that.
So today we're talking about what was probably a lot of points of inspiration for a lot of business owners going back probably in the early 2010s. I think that's when it hit its heyday, because we're talking about internet gurus today. And if you haven't met an internet guru, we just need to look around whenever you type in any form of training, and you see they've got the programs, they've got all these special webinars and everything that, in a sense, we do a lot of that in our work, but they're more in the scale of, I've got to come to you and we've got these like amazing offers and I'm going to make you a millionaire, because that's what kind of it turned into a point. Yeah,
the thing is, there's so many of them now, so they need to oversell they're basically trying to oversell to the customer to be better than each other. You think if there's 1,000 in one short area, each with a message, one's going to be helping you make 1,000, one of you's going to be trying to make 2,000, and until you've got so many trying to make you £1 million now, because they're just trying to compete with each other. It's so dense, the market.
Yeah, you had a really good point when we were talking about it before we actually went on air, which was during lockdown, everyone was inside trying to upskill themselves, and from there, a lot of people turned what they knew into courses. And they went into, helping train people in certain aspects. And I think that's better than what they used to be, because we look at internet gurus back in the past. We look at, because this is called the rise and fall of internet gurus. Yeah. The rise of gurus in the past, you're talking, your Cardones, your Gary V's, the big names that came from it, where everyone was, first getting into building a business and, the motivation, the lifestyle and entrepreneurship. They were all trying to motivate themselves to go forward and forward and forward. And they met these people, these big figureheads who used to make companies out of what they'd say was nothing. And then they turn into these big media moguls, and they'll go into you and say, hey, look, I'm going to make you £1 million. And they started off by just not really giving actionable advice, but giving mindset advice. And that's what the internet guru kind of became, wasn't it?
Yeah, it became if you want to succeed, this is the personality you need almost. And it was, it's hard because there's a lot of people out there who think that they're looking to a guru to help them grow their business and make it more scalable, or to increase revenue, or a lot of people out there are thinking, I need my business to succeed, especially when they're running a business model that's been repeated over and over again for the last 10 years. Yeah. So they rely on these people for this information, and what they do is they provide you with, like you said, the mindset advice, leadership advice, confidence training.
It basically became a masterclass in marketing. Yeah. Because if you looked at what the product was, which was probably just a few things like, hey, just wake up in the morning and wake up really early and take a dog for a walk and do some more exercise and, go into a meeting and learn how to listen and all these softer skills. But people were probably already, in a sense, doing those kind of things. But they wanted to know, what's the next step? Like, how do I get people to actually click on an email link? How do I get people to actually attend my webinar?
Yeah, because to them, it's like, I think they're more likely to get an audience, and a responsive audience, if they talk about, say, are you waking up in the morning still tired, can't get out of bed, struggling to decide what to wear? And there's people go, oh, yeah, that was me this morning. My life's in a bit of a rut. And you start to think like that, and then they go, well, that's why you're struggling. And because it's something you're dealing with, you do associate it. You think, wait, one, I'm struggling, and two, I'm struggling to get out of bed. And it's like, bang. Yeah. And that's how if they just went, are you investing in 3-bedroom properties in London? And it's like, that just wouldn't gauge the audience. So they're doing it from a point of view of mass audience relatability, basically.
But the fall of that was you had the marketing, you had the people got attention, they was engaged. I was like, yeah, that's great. You're speaking to my audience. And then from there, you had the people who were then trying to follow in their footsteps. And this is where it kind of got into a world of parody, where people were seeing flashy sports cars and they were looking at themselves thinking, oh, I want a piece of that life. Yeah. And then it turns out that it was just basically a scheme of getting people into these false courses, which just told them stuff we could already find out if they just Googled the internet a few times, like, better ways to wake up in the morning, and then they find that same information. But because this person who they saw on a video was telling them with their Lamborghini and their like supermodel wife and being like, oh, hey, you know, this is amazing, you can have a part of this life if you join this course.
Yeah.
That's when things started to take a little bit of a dark and sinister turn.
Yeah, I remember seeing a video of this guy, and he was reading a book, sat on his Ferrari or Lamborghini in his garage, and his garage was like, he had books everywhere, and he's talking about, I've read all these books, and he's like, and he's reading this book on this Ferrari, and he's like, he's giving you a sense of what you can have, basically, if you follow what he's doing, because that's how we look at it. Like, I will dress like someone who I think looks good in that clothes. I'm like, I'm going to buy clothes like that because I want to dress like them because the way that I think they look.
Yeah.
So he's appealing to that, which is a great way of doing it. But then the content is just one of those books that probably he didn't write, regurgitated into, spoken word, basically.
And you want to emulate their success. So then they go on these, like, you know, these big platforms, these talk shows, and they talk about it. And then you realize that their path to success couldn't really be emulated.
Yeah, no, because a lot of the time it's case to case, isn't it? So you can't look at one business and this business and apply the exact same techniques all the time, because one might have a product that is suitable for tens of millions of people, and one might have a product that's suitable for 500 people, but they think that they use the same model, it will still work. And it, unfortunately, obviously they don't really care about that, because they're just trying to get you to press buy on that one time, aren't they?
The strategies will work, you know, the products and the programs could work, but they never tailor the messages. So they're using like templated things, which you need to tweak and you need to work with someone with to make that work for them. Yeah.
And it's not just that, like you said, it rose in 2010-ish or back then, and by now all those techniques and templates have been burnt out. So actually you can probably see them a mile off now as well. So unless they're creating new content, then it's not going to improve on it.
Yeah, it's harder for an audience to actually look at someone who's delivering these products now and say to themselves, I want to buy into this, because now they need to try a little bit harder, because everyone has access to video ads now. Everyone has access to, you know, ways to create these videos and these new ads and these new web pages, these new landing pages. Anyone can do it, and now everyone is doing it. And then it's a case of like, what differentiates any internet guru from someone who's actually going to give you value?
I know.
And it's quite a struggle that sometimes we have, where we're battling with some people who have just, you know, a simple product they want to push out there, and, you know, they're targeting the same kind of audience. Hey, if you want to learn LinkedIn training, do it this way. Yeah. But we want to try and do it a step further, which is, do you not want to learn how to do LinkedIn, but do you want to, you know, use LinkedIn for sales or marketing to get more content, and also tell you why we do that? Yeah,
I think the thing is, the more value you offer, you're right, the more actual detailed value you offer, the harder it is to sell, because one, either the person you're selling to doesn't know they need it, but they know they need it, but they refuse to admit it. Yeah. So like a lot of the time when we sell, you have to go through that emotive language to the day-to-day stuff that bothers them, because if you try and appeal to the actual root that's the problem, then you just get no success. So I get why they do it, but I think it will, in the end, it's going to cause them to struggle. I think all the big ones are now running on their names rather than the content that they provide, because there's only so many times you can say the same webinar over and over again.
I don't think we're going to see an end to, you know, internet gurus. They rise and they fall. And like I said, we've had people who have become the pinnacle of those gurus that we said, those big names. You're going to maybe see a few of them more go into it, but I feel like they've now turned into more influencers in a sense.
That's the point I was going to make. So I think even influencers who actually don't really have the knowledge but ended up getting to be an influencer status, which is based on another video we spoke about, but I think people will now take their advice over someone who's more knowledgeable just because of their stance in the market, like just their stance in the social world.
And it's actually quite interesting, because you think to yourself, okay, this person who made themselves famous by maybe doing a certain like viral thing online.
Yeah, they left school when they were 13 or something, but yet they're offering life advice, and actually everyone's taking it because they've got a fan base.
There was like a 30-second TikTok or something, and then it got like millions of views, and next thing you know, they're selling courses on how to, you know, create these viral TikToks, when they could have just posted a video for 30 seconds.
And the other one, based on exactly the same thing, is that business owners and things like that, who I know this because I've seen it, but pardon me, have had failed business experiences and then are trying to sell videos on how to grow your business. And that, to me, I've seen it only the other day. It amazes me that they're preaching to a crowd when the crowd, if they just did some are digging would notice that person actually hasn't had a successful business in their whole life, but they know how to look good on video. And sometimes that's all it takes is confidence in video, and you can get people to click a button. It's quite a shame, really, but especially when we're trying to, like, without picking ourselves up, our focus is to add value to stuff. So whenever we produce content and things, we're trying to sell stuff. That's the way the world works. But we think if we can add value first, people are more likely to buy, rather than get them to buy and then hope they get value.
And that's what we focus on all the time, because you'll see sometimes we'll make mistakes. You know, you do live shows and webinars. Sometimes, like you just did now, you were like, oh, sorry about that. I'm just going to carry on forward. Like, if you're always feeling a bit scripted, if everything feels too cut and paste, and you've got that, those shiny white teeth guy with a quick here going, hey, we're going to make you $1 million. It's very American for a start, but it's also has a little shroud of unbelievability.
Because it's been done, and it's too much out there.
Unbelievability.
You've
got believability, you've got unbelievability to it.
Don't know. We're both creating words, I think, today.
Yeah. So if you just go and do some digging, after a while you see that most LinkedIn gurus will come, any internet guru will come and go, but the ones who actually provide value will stay, and then they can ride all the success they've had from it as well.
I mean, they can't ride testimonials forever, especially testimonials that probably aren't proven to be real. It's just, you've got to, if you're looking to these sort of gurus for support and things like that, then just make sure that when you look into them, that you know you're going to get value out of them. Obviously, whenever you're paying a cost, it's always a risk, but don't try and pay loads of them to try and get something that you probably already have online or in the back of your head. You just need to action it. And sometimes we need accountability, and that's why we go to these gurus, is because we feel like if we paid the money, then we've got the accountability to do what they say. But
and we've spent the money now, and it's on us to actually action that and do it.
Absolutely, and it's the same in like the fitness industry and things. But I think sometimes you have that knowledge there, and you have those sort of traits that they'll talk about. You just sort of, you can find stuff out there for free. I think you don't need it, but
Well, thanks for sharing our insight with us, Dave.
Brilliant.
And thank you all for watching Maverrik Live today. Don't forget to subscribe to us on our channel and follow us on LinkedIn for more topics like these. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend.